What's up, Mac Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of Denzel Curry's latest collab collective album, Strictly for the Scythe. 13 years after leaving Raider Clan, Denzel Curry gives us Strictly for the Scythe and this new collective, the Scythe. This is a really short but sweet album, only 8 tracks, 30 minutes, a clear reverence to Southern hip-hop, which is not a surprise from Denzel given those Mischievous South mixtapes, his very clear reverence for 3-6 Mafia. Juicy J does make an appearance on this album. A$AP Ferg's inclusion here, independent of everything that's happened to A$AP Mob, is just a bit random to me, but there's still some stuff I appreciate here. Some of the one-off guests don't make too big of an impression, but I think Denzel, Tia Corinne, former Raider Clan member Kenyatta, all pretty solid. BK the Ruler as well is all over this project. Denzel has long developed an ability to give you different flows, give you different cadences, get more melodic, different voices. And with a collective album, he's able to really kind of flow in and out, let other people shine, jump in and make sure the song really hits home, really hits hard. It's cool to hear him be that type of MC. I'll be curious how formal this type of collective really is. Is this a one-off project? Is this something that we're going to hear a lot more of? Hard to really tell, but even if this is the last we get of it, still pretty cool given we don't really get a lot of stuff like this in rap these days. How many established figures are really making brand new collectives, 10 years into their career? It's not happening. And I mean, you think about like the heyday of rap collectors, right? Of course, my favorite era of being a hip hop fan, coming of age in the 2010s as like a real adult fan, Raider Clan into A$AP Mob and Odd Future and Beast Coast and Pro Era and Black Hippie and the reverence that TDE had as a label at the time, right? It just feels like such a bygone time, and there's, I guess, been moments that are more label driven, right? Dreamville, I guess, comes to mind and in that respect, but this hasn't really felt like a thing these days, I guess Playboy Cardi's Opium in a little bit. I guess also of note, the Chicago Save Money stuff with Chance the Rapper, Vic Mensa, all that. Point is, these things fizzle out, so I'm not going to get my hopes up here. That first song, The Scythe, I love that hard bass, kind of like a classic Denzel hook, the way it sounds. Ferg with the, low ad-libs, also very reminiscent for him. I think Ferg's cadence on this is pretty great. He rides the beat quite well. I guess you can kind of compare Ferg and Curry's versatility to each other, right? Given they both kind of, I guess, branched out in similar ways, making a lot of noise for making a lot of Southern indebted hip-hop, and then becoming a bit more of all-rounder, versatile, vocal talent as they grew up. Not sure I ever really put that together, frankly. Lit Effect, this is really all BK the Ruler. Big impression from her. I love her voice, particularly on this song. I do find the hook a bit repetitive as it goes. Laser Dim jumps in, kind of doing like a Drakeo impression, honestly. I think Denzel, though, comes in, saves the song from really fading out. Really fun flow switch up as well in his verse. Phony, Denzel kind of at a higher pitch, almost like Kamaya vibes in terms of that vocal sound. Juicy J, perfect for this beat. Sounds great. It's very Southern, very 3-6. I think Denzel also very energetic at the end in that verse. Sounds really nice. Mutt That Bit, probably my favorite song here. I love the bass. I love those chant vocals. I think Denzel is really branching out vocally on a song like this. And then you have 1900 Rugrat with an awesome feature. It really complements the song. There's all those different registers from Denzel. I think the Rugrat feature just really, really glides over the beat. It's really cool. Hoopty, definitely a vibe switch given Smino's appearance here. Like this kind of squeakier, wound up sound to the song. You Ain't Gotta Lie, probably my least favorite song here. I mean, the 4/5/4 melodic feature over like almost like a break beat just feels really out of place. Lud Tyler also doesn't really do anything for me here. Tan, this is BK the Ruler again. It's actually a remix to her song from 2022, now with a Tia Corinne feature. Honestly, her voice kind of reminds me of like a vintage like Made in Tokyo feature. Not someone I've heard of or thought of in several years, of course, but I immediately got brought back to that, Uber Everywhere days. And then the last song, Up, also kind of middling, Rich the Kid feature kind of comes and goes for me. Ferg's flow is pretty bouncy though. So yeah, I mean, like this to me is just cool for its novelty. I'm not going to really necessarily run back a ton of these songs like that. I'm not going to think of these songs the way I think of the best work from Denzel or the best work from Ferg, of course. So I'm just kind of happy that like a collective project came to be at this point. And I'm really just curious now about if this continues, given the history of things like this not usually continuing. So yeah, let me know, what did you think of Strictly for the Scythe from Denzel Curry and his new collective, The Scythe? And for more rap reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.